And we still have one more part, which is part E. And basically part E is about corporate governance in non-corporation. I would say governance in non-corporation. Okay, that's where we talk about charities. We talk about not-for-profit. Charities under not-for-profit. So there are several different guidelines for you to take note, which I believe not really that popular. But if this part E is going to be asked in the exam, most definitely be in the MCQ. Okay, moving on, this part 4. How many percentage here? Again, 25. But we have 3 parts. Okay. One thing that I want to highlight, based on my previous students' performances, when they shared with me their results of CPA external exam, most of them, they scored less in module 4 because there are, I would say, I consider this as you calculated 18, right? Yes. I think 18 questions, not points, questions, mainly coming from the MCQ. Less likely to ask in the AC part. Less likely. I'm not saying that it's not going to be asked at all, but less likely for module 4 to be asked in the AC part. So please expect around 18 MCQs. So it is a high risk and high return for you to consider here. You must understand in MCQ, every 1 point is crucial. That's where it creates you whether the student scored 539, 540 and above. So be very alert, be very careful in getting every single mark in MCQ because it is important. Okay, what are the things that we learn in module 4? Part A, we talk about the factors, the 6 causes of corporate collapses, according to Hamilton and Micklewicz. Okay, we have dominant CEO, okay, over expansion and so forth. There are 6 common causes of corporate failures, and we talk about the success factors, governance success factors. Okay, I think it sounds more like MCQ questions from this part A. Okay, part B, between part B and part C. Part B, we talk about the governance in goods and services. Part C, we talk about the governance in financial market. Again, I repeat, part B, governance in goods and services. I think the normal governance, normal companies, normal products. Meanwhile, for part C, that's where we talk about financial markets. And I can relate why students got confused, why students couldn't really score much in this module 4, because lots of technical terms in module 4. We have pools, we have runs, okay? We have churning, we have cartel conduct, okay, puffery, okay, bid rigging, so on and so forth. What is puffery? What is the keyword of puffery? Exaggeration. Example of exaggeration. Exaggerate. We are world's number 1. We are Malaysia's number 1. Who said that? Siapa cakap? Right? So something like Overclaim. Overclaim. Puffery. So that is part of the marketing. Puffery. You can't really overclaim. Okay, remember, I think part T, you have a lot. That's why you have bid rigging, resale price maintenance. Please get to know and understand all this. Any question for module 4? Okay, misuse. Okay. What are the other two? What are the other two before that? Run, sentence, and maintain. Misuse of. Okay, it shows their prospectus. You know what is prospectus? You know what is the difference between prospectus dengan annual report? Prospectus and annual report. Yeah. Prospectus is beginning of the year, before the investment is being made. Okay, you want to invest in this fund, you should read the prospectus. You want to see the performance of the fund, you should read annual report. That's the difference, before and after. So, answering your question, misuse of financial document, the information in the prospectus may be misleading. I still remember, if I can relate this, in 2008, how old were you during the time? 2008?
7 years old.
7 years old.
Ada is 6 and 5.
Okay. What happened in 2008 in sports industry? There was a big sports event in 2008. Olympics. Where was it? Beijing Olympics 2008. And you know what? Prior to Beijing Olympics 2008, some investment companies, they created some China funds, and they claim, okay, let's invest in this China fund because China is going to organize Olympics. So the information in that prospectus was quite misleading because people was eager. Wow, okay, maybe Olympics will bring good money, but in the end, for those who invested in China fund during that time, didn't really do well. Okay, so in conclusion, the information in the prospectus could be misleading. It's not only about fund. I think you can, of course, in any brochure. So sometimes it is over something like puffery lah. You overclaim. What is before Phoenix Company? Ponzi scheme. MLM is more towards Ponzi scheme. Phoenix Company is, let's say you have an existing company, the directors made something wrong. So as to cover those mistakes, they created another company just to cover up the whatever wrongdoings done in the main company. Not really kosong, but somehow to hide.
Like, for example, company made a big loss because they don't want to be that liable.
Yeah.
So
That is technically what
they just want to end the company so that they don't have to
be liable. Yes, exactly. Mainly Phoenix company is about talking. Is mainly talking about your liability. You are creating another company as to to so-called avoid those liabilities that you're supposed to hold and take care. Okay. Someone else is taking over. Okay, just to cover someone else or whoever that is willing to take over. Okay, to clean your wrongdoings. Kita nak cakap bahasa tapi bahasa tu agak kasar sikit.
Itu macam stigmat tu.
Stigmat?
Macam stigmat. Kan dia daripada company beauty. Kasih tu.
Ya ke?
Ya ke?
Saya adalah pembeli tegas stigmat.
Ya ke? Bukan kita orang benda. Betul.
Ada orang lupa. Ini murah tau. Saya ni naik. I'm not sure about that, but roughly I think we mentioned this last week. Some people created yayasan.
Macam saya tadi.
Yeah. No, we can ask more.
How approval procedure is anti-competitive.
Approval?
Belum dia resale price maintenance.
Okay, let us see.
Apa dia kata anti apa? Cakap dapat buat sampai depan ni.
What page number?
Dia fasik ke?
Ni. 256. Ni. Okay, this is not anti-competitive. Okay, see anti-competitive up until price fixing. Okay. Okay, I think it's good for me to show the slide. That one is even clearer.
I put something like solat, like concert.
Okay, what was your question just now? Is it anti-competitive? Okay. Okay, first we have how to understand this. Cartel conduct and anti-competitive. Okay. First, the main slide is before this. Okay, you have to understand this slide first. Okay, this slide shows that there are 5 anti-competitive behaviors. Okay, so I think I assume everyone understands this. And then after anti-competitive, we have under anti-competitive, we have cartel. Okay, and cartel we have 4. Okay, so the one that you asked just now is resale price. Is it? Approval procedure. Page 59. Okay, this one Yes.
Tak nampak.
Okay, what does it mean by approval procedures? Okay, first, technically, on paper, any anti-competitive conduct is illegal. Okay, but there are some situations whereby if that so-called anti-competitive brings benefit to the public, then slowly it can become legal. For example, if you read the text here, the setting of taxi fare. Yeah, same page. Okay, the setting of taxi fare. Okay, sometimes as a consumer, sometimes we are thinking of why there should be a minimum rate of, let's say, 5 ringgit, because 5 ringgit usually being set by and agreed upon by the taxi drivers. But slowly, after accepting the fact that maybe Grab also 5 ringgit, so slowly that so-called anti-competitive will become allowable. Something illegal that is allowable. That is what is meant by approval. Okay?
And beza antara horizontal dengan vertical.
Horizontal is between the same level, at the same level. Vertical is between different level. Vertical kan? Vertical pricing between horizontal between taxi driver and another taxi driver, or between this company with another same company in the same level. Yeah, this at the same level. Let's say we have somebody, customer, supplier. So between customer and supplier is vertical. Between customer, between company and another company is horizontal. Okay, any more question for module 4?
What is the meaning of artificial?
Artificial, which one?
Artificial monopoly, artificial price.
Artificial means what? Artificial means man-made. Man-made. Something that is not naturally born. Artificial intelligence, man-made intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, AI.
So artificial
AI,
price
robot.
is you set the
Mana kat mana
market, the people set the price. Not by naturally set. Demand. Usually the price is set by natural demand and supply, right? But artificial price is when you set the price. That's why market conduct is related to artificial price.
Sir, kat mana sir? Tunjuk tu siapa?
Artificial price. Exclusive dealing.
Exclusive feelings.
Okay. This is not first concept. Hello.
Nampak je? Nampak je tak? Pen. Aku tengah duduk stand dulu ni.
sudah terbentuk kalau macam setiap kalau setiap kompon tu ada influencer yang kan.
Kalau yang ini kita tak boleh tanya ni pilihan bukan atas dasar
Bukan atas dasar
saya jual kat sana
Biasa nak influencer je lah kau apa saya cakap. Belum masuk. Dia cakap dah kuat-kuat nak dengar. Dah guys.
cover
walaupun barang-barang tadi 2 orang
Dah artificial price tu page berapa?
Control F. Okay, alright. I think part module 4 is done. So let's go to module 5 now.
Tak ada spesifik geometrik lah.
Okay, module 5 is the same like module 1, 15%. So roughly 11, I would say 11 marks or marks or questions. I think I would say 11 questions, MCQs. Okay. And if you still remember the one that we discussed last week, we talked about how do we read this one A until F. We read it as a chronology, sequential. This is the problem. We start with the problem. What are the limitations of financial reporting? Okay, the scope is limited. You know, not many things being reported. Then part B is telling us, okay, what are the solutions to the limitations? What are the problems to the limitations? That's where we talk about CSR. And then talking about CSR, we do have up until part E. Okay, part B is starting the starting point of CSR. Part 3, the theories linked to CSR. This is where ACAP, we discussed about ACAP. Okay, organizational legitimacy. Okay, remember under legitimacy theory, what we need to obtain? What do we need to obtain from the society?
Trust.
What do we need to obtain from the society? What? Publication?
We need to
That's
gain
correct. What do
trust.
we need to obtain from the society?
Trust.
That one is quite general, that's correct. We need to obtain the social license or license to operate. license to operate. Remember the case of ACAP? Okay, the frontliners managed to get the so-called license to operate. So that makes people surrounding the place so-called, accepted. That part, that building is to be used for quarantine center. If the people surrounding that place, they don't agree, so whatever that you do there, people are not happy. License to operate or social license. Okay, what do we learn about stakeholder theory linked to CSR? When we are doing CSR means we are concerning on a wider range of stakeholders. Unlike financial reporting, we are assumed to only focus on the investors. Okay, because there is one perspective by Milton Friedman that says shareholder primacy. Okay, the king is the shareholder. We don't care about others. But under CSR, not only that we are to satisfy, we are to serve the shareholders, but we should also serve the other stakeholders too. The customers, the employees, the public, the suppliers, the government, and so on. Institutional theory, okay, it says when one company does a CSR, usually other companies will follow. Because it creates brand and reputation. Okay, that is part C. Under part D, we discuss on the components of CSR reporting. What are the things that you want to report? Okay, we can report in terms of monetary. Okay, we can report in terms of narrative. We can also report in terms of quantification. For example, CSR, instead of reporting on monetary value, how many ringgit that you invested in doing CSR, you can also report on some other figures. Like what? Percentage, how many OKU staff that you employ. How many families that you have helped. Okay? That's how you report in terms of quantification. What page is that? Quantification? 3 to 6. What? The first one is quantification. Second one? Okay, monetization and narrative reporting. You can explain what you do in CSR narratively. That means something like notes to financial statement. Okay, again I repeat an example of quantification. How many OKUs that you employ, how many families that you have helped, how many residential areas that you have done your CSR. Or let's say if your company is doing CSR at the zoo, how many tigers? Okay. Or you can also express it in terms of dollars. How much that you have contributed to the zoo. That is under monetization. Quantification is other than money, but thing that is still can be measured. Still things that can be quantified. Boleh dikira. Measurable.
Tapi contribution to the zoo tadi money kan?
It could be you can express in both money and quantification. How many tigers? How many? What else? Okay, can you think of some examples of quantification if you do CSR at Zoo Negara?
How many plants? How many tigers?
How many? Yeah. Timing. How many days?
How many days?
How many times?
How many
Yes.
people?
Yeah. How many people that you have brought to help you? How many companies that help you to clean the zoo garden? Something like that.
People. Animal.
Okay.
Time.
Okay. Part E is another important part because part E is the one that shows the diagram where you have long rectangle and short rectangle. This one.
Takut. Risau. Risau.
Yang gambar itu.
Kerja dengan
Ni favorite sub. Kan?
Favorite staff. Tiga 5 point.
Okay? Right. So I hope everyone now is able to read this. Okay? And each of this, it has its own explanation in the book. So you have to know what GRI is, what are the things that are being covered in GRI, what's inside integrated reporting, and so on and so forth. Again, please go through this. I know it is only 15%, but remember 15% equals to 11 questions. So many things can be asked from this part. Okay?
banyak maksudnya.
Yang carbon offset.
Where can we find carbon offset? 3? Part F.
Betul lah CDP.
Okay?
Betul.
Carbon is mainly discussed here in part F. Okay, because part F it talks about climate change reporting, and as far as carbon is concerned, the main component of carbon that you need to know is the difference between carbon tax and carbon ETS. Remember, which one is price certainty, which one is quantity certainty. Carbon tax is price certainty because we know how much to pay. ETS creates quantity certainty because we know how much we can emit, EMIT, but we do not know how much that we're going to pay, right? Because your counterpart, your competitor can sell you at a very high price if you want to buy more carbon credits from them. Okay, this is something related to climate change reporting. One of the components of climate change reporting is your carbon reporting. May not be so popular in Malaysia, but for those countries that are very particular in carbon reporting, they have two options. Number one, carbon tax. Okay, and these two mechanisms are to control the carbon emission. Okay, first is through carbon tax. Second is through ETS. emission trading scheme, or we call it cap and trade. Cap and trade. Cap and trade. CAP and trade. TRE. I think in the note in the slide says cap and trade. Right? Cap and trade is also known as ETS. Okay, what is the difference between carbon tax and ETS? Carbon tax, for countries that are implementing carbon tax, in order for them to control the carbon emission throughout the year, they usually impose very high tax for the companies that emit carbon. But this mechanism doesn't really help to decrease the carbon emission, because as long as you can pay, as long as the companies can pay, they will keep on polluting, emitting, yes? Something like we discussed last week, something like the imposition of 300 ringgit for speed limit of 300 ringgit, okay? For rich cars, 300 ringgit is nothing, so they can still do speeding. It doesn't really curb. CURB, it doesn't really curb the speed habit. Okay, second mechanism is ETS, or cap and trade. Okay, under this scheme, which I believe it is better than carbon tax, under this cap and trade, the government is setting the maximum carbon. Just now carbon tax no limit, right? You, as long as the companies can pay, you go, you do, you produce. But for ETS, the government will set, okay, let's say in 2023, all companies in this country shouldn't exceed the limit of this amount. Maybe, let's say we choose a unit of 1 unit of measurement. Let's say units of credits, carbon credits. Let's say in 2023, this country has set all companies should not exceed, say, 100 carbon limits. And let's assume in that country there are 10 major companies. So each company receives 10 credits. So let's say my company wants to produce more, and your company is producing less. Once I reach my limit 10, and I think I want more, and you have extras, you can sell to me. But whatever the situation is, in 2023, all over the country shouldn't exceed 100 credits. So one good thing about ETS is at least the cap is there. That is what is meant by cap, the carbon cap, yeah, the limit. So the entire nation, the entire country shouldn't exceed 100 carbon credit. And the word trade is when you have extras, you can trade. But do you know the exact price? What price should you put? No, no limit. Sky is the limit. You can charge. Unlike carbon tax you know how much you should pay. Because the government has already stated, okay, every emission, every credit, or maybe every unit, okay, how much should you pay? You know already. Again, something like speed limit, you know already how much should you pay if you are being fined.
So under ETS, if the limit was
I think there must be some penalties. They shouldn't. They should impose even heavier penalties. Only fines, I don't know. But at least I assume there should be very strict sanctions.
Cap and trade is and ETS is the same.
ETS and yes. Yeah. Cap and trade is part of ETS. The general name of that mechanism is ETS. Okay. The general name is ETS. The cap and trade, yes.
But what happened if
They exceed. There could be some penalties imposed to those companies. Unlike carbon tax, you are paying for the tax if you produce more, and you are allowed to produce more, just have to pay the tax. But under ETS, if you exceed, of course you are breaching, you are violating the so-called regulation.
Kalau company sengaja lebihkan produk dia jual bagi dia
As long as you are definitely there must be a proper control mechanism by the government. No one can exceed. But as long as it is within your credit, whether you want more or you want less, that's where the trade happens. If you have more, you can sell. If you need more, you can buy. Look at this. Cap and trade or ETS is the same. Okay, I'm sure when you learn CBI later, you will see this again. That is part of the coverage. Don't know. At the moment, another lecturer. It was my subject before. At the moment, I'm teaching EG. Last time, I'm teaching EG and CBI here. But I'm teaching CBI somewhere else. So you still can ask me.
Tapi sekarang siapa yang ajar ke CBI?
CBI, another lecturer.
Oh, boleh tanya sekarang.
I'm not my forte. EG and CBI. Okay, any question for part F?
No.
Balik?
Attendance.
Oh, attendance. Yeah.
what is the meaning of
Externalities. Okay, good question. Externalities, the cost that either you pay or you're not paying but borne by someone else. For example, your company did a pollution. Your company polluted the river. Okay, but the cost of cleaning the river is borne by the government. That is externalities.
but we know that externalities have two different terms or view, positive and negative. But what is the example of positive?
Externalities, I think more towards negative because you are the one who did that, but why someone else has to cover you?
The party cost.
Yeah, third party cost, yes. Maybe positive one, you are not going to bear that cost, but it's not good.
And what is the difference between sustainable investment and impact investment?
Okay.
The same.
Okay, for all the four types of investment, some of them are overlapping. The same investment can also be discussed in more than one type. That's what you say. Impact investment could also be discussed. Let's say we talk about that investment. Oh, okay, that investment is applicable under both impact and sustainable. But the best way to differentiate them theoretically is to see the definition and example in the book.
And one more. What is the difference between the key concept of CSR and the company? And what about environmental management accounting? Because usually the asset natural resources.
Yeah.
Apa bezanya natural accounting dengan
Natural capital accounting and
environmental?
okay, EMA is more on management accounting. The management component part. Natural capital is about about the natural capital, but being reported generally.
So itu lebih mendalam.
It depends on the way that you view it. It is going to be more specific in terms of the natural capital itself, if you're talking about natural capital, but if you're talking about accounting point of view, more specific is EMA. That as I said, it depends on the way that you view it. But just get to know the difference between EMA and natural capital. Natural capital is you are doing about accounting, everything about accounting on natural capital. EMA is mainly about the management accounting.
One more. But for if it's
Okay?
but okay, tapi yang dalam bawah yang tiga ni ada satu tapi ada body
Macam ni.
Okay, it depends on what are the things that you want to report. If that guideline provides comprehensive guideline for you to start your reporting, use it. Otherwise, you should yes. It's your choice. It's your choice. Okay, for example, if you want to do CSR, you can go for sustainability. You can also go for integrated reporting. You can also go for other types of reporting. It's your choice. And also it depends on where you are. Okay, because there are some reporting items mainly in certain regions or certain countries, like CDP, Carbon Disclosure Project, mainly in developed countries.
US.
Staggered. Oh, staggered. Directors. Okay. I don't know which one is more popular.
I mean, in the book, they said that this one is not popular. These standards are not popular. So why is
Staggered. I mean the appointment of the director.
yeah, why is this not popular?
Which one is more popular? Staggered. This staggered means you remove everyone. Because I believe that is not transparent.
So like, the first one,
Tadi page berapa?
I think it creates, it creates favoritism. Favorite people will see. How about the favorite people are not doing well? But since you give the
Tak, tempat sana tak page ni. Page 257 tempat sana.
yeah, I think both are
Page apa saja. Tanya nak tu. Tanya. Tanya saja.
in the book.
Nak tangkap juga. Banyak tengah rakam. Yang boleh salah tak?
You understand that? You are make someone still. So whoever that is will share
Eh,
and like there's something like talking about histories, talking about yes. Because everyone seems to be
I borrow your camera. Okay.
for those who are still students. That's why you have I would say yes. That to some extent.
Silakan.
But you still can share with them. But as I said, what happens if you are maintaining someone who's not doing it? Could be both advantages and disadvantages.
Oh, okay. Ingat tak rasa.
Yeah.
Ada di belakang. Apa aku nampak Anissa ni. Kita kena berhak.
Okay, I've basically done covering the theoretical parts. Okay, let me just finish the remaining slides. Okay, please remember in CPA there are always questions like this. Best describe, most likely, less
Oh,
likely.
sorry.
Okay. It means when you choose this answer, it doesn't mean that the others are wrong. But this is the most correct, the others are less correct. Geram tak?
Geram, sakit hati,
Yes.
broken, macam-macam.
Not that the others are wrong, but the others are less correct. So we want to get the most correct. Look at this. This one.
Most likely, best.
So, yeah, please get to know the language style in CP. Okay, next. Remember the importance of module 3, where the same question can ask you 3 different codes. Okay, I've shared with you all this. Okay, so your task now, could you please double check all this? Are they correct or not? Okay, I'm doing this. We are doing this one by one, line by line. Okay, this one and being tested by 3 codes. Then second one, all 3 codes, and third one, all the 3 codes. Okay, again, this slide is available in your chat folder.
Ya, betul. Betul, dia pasti betul. Independent authority should be the same person as the CEO of that. Betul. Yang berdua ya, satu macam salah. Yang ASI tu salah kan? ASI salah kan? Recommendation 2.5. Sebab kat situ dia mention 4 of the members are elected directors ARN CFO. Tapi sini dia kata executive ni independent ke non-independent? Dia boleh jadi kalau di sini pun ada Apple Watch. Siapa guna Apple Watch tak? Lelaki biasanya belakang je, belakang lelaki. Lelaki dia akan tanya sikit. Dia harus telefon.
Boleh. Ada dia sulat dia tu.
Or is it untuk yang goal nombor 2 for members architect untuk poin pertama. Jadi untuk setiap tukar tak faham saya.
Attendance. Okay, before I forget, please capture your attendance now for the last time. Okay, morning one I will do it manually.